Welcome to Querer es Poder, where there's a will, there's a way. Our show is about inspiring, educating, and motivating our listeners who want to succeed in the business world. And we have a very nice and good example about that. And you know, the best thing that when I met our guest from today is we met him through the Mixer Network from the Santa Clarita Valley Latino Chamber of Commerce, and now he became a friend. And now we're clients of his Reyes Winery.
Robert Reyes, welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good. And you know what? You're getting a reputation. You're getting a reputation as and it's a good reputation. You're getting a reputation as having outstanding wine, but more importantly, of being an outstanding citizen and a good giver to the community.
Thank you.
So we appreciate that. We appreciate that very much. Now, Robert, tell us where you grew up and how you got from there to Santa Clarita.
My goodness, that's a long story. I was born in the Dominican Republic, moved to New York at the age of 14, got some part of my education in New York, moved to Los Angeles at the age of 20, was working with an insurance company back then, and went into business at that age of 20 in the clothing business, and then moved on to real estate and other ventures, and ended up owning a steel company and eventually owning a vineyard and a winery.
Okay, now
that's the short version.
Let me make sure I get that sequence over here. So you came to Los Angeles, you went to work in clothing, and then steel, and then wine.
And real estate in between.
Well, you know my nickname for you, right?
What is that?
You're the Renaissance Man.
Oh, thank you.
You are the Renaissance Man, and that's good. I'm sticking with that one. Well, so fantastic. Now, what brought you to Santa Clarita? And here comes one of the things I hate to do is ask two questions at one time. My wife does that to me all the time, and I don't know which question I answer. So I'm doing it to you. What brought you to Santa Clarita, and how did you get into the wine business?
Well, actually, I came to Santa Clarita visiting about 20 plus years ago, and I met Juan Alonso at Le Chien Restaurant. And he's my good friend.
He's a good guy.
And eventually I went to a harvest party that he had because he was picking his grapes that year, and I just became enamored with the whole valley and this whole place. And, of course, I've had the passion for wine all these years. And that kind of gave me a hands-on opportunity to see actually how it's really done out in the vineyard. I had been making wines for many years prior to that I learned to make from a book. But having come to the harvest party I got a new inspiration. And so eventually Juan Alonso actually got that land for me. You know, he is an entrepreneur of sorts himself, and he is in the real estate business as well. And so he called me one day. I was at some airport somewhere. He said, Robert, you have to see this land. You have to buy this land. And I said, but I'm out of town, and what do we do? And he says, well, we'll make it happen. And so my son got involved, and we made that happen and purchased the land.
And it's about what, 17 acres?
It's 16 and a quarter acres.
16 and a quarter acres in Agua Dulce.
In Agua Dulce.
Beautiful land. Beautiful
Thank you.
Place.
Beautiful land, beautiful winery, and excellent wine.
Thank you. We planted that vineyard in 2004 and had our first little crop in 2005. And out of the 16 acres, we got 150 bottles of wine that year.
150 bottles. Okay, so that would be just
like one bottle
for personal consumption.
10, yes, about 10 bottles per acre, right?
But you know, in this time, what I'm glad to know is that you got some awards for your wines. Can you tell us about it, please?
Yes, we've been fortunate enough to have entered our first bottling that we did a year ago in April of last year. And we entered our red wines in several competitions, and we were fortunate enough to win medals in all three wines that we entered in every competition. More specifically, we entered the Los Angeles International Wine and Spirits Competition, where we won silver medals for our Syrah, which I brought you a bottle of the Syrah this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's delicious.
And we won silver for that, and we won silver on the Merlot, and we won a gold medal on our Cabernet. And we actually won another medal, and that was for best of class in the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Outstanding. Yeah. Outstanding. And you have a lovely wife, Rosa.
Yes.
And together you worked the vineyard.
Yes, we planted the vineyard together, and we were there overseeing the project as it was happening, and we got to plant the first vines that were planted. So that,
and how did that
have the pictures.
How did that make you feel?
I was looking at those pictures last night, and it really brought me back some good memories.
We're heading toward break. And so the segment is going to end. But before the segment ends, I want to tell our listeners, if you haven't been to Reyes Winery in Agua Dulce, and it's on Sierra Highway.
Yes.
All right, in Agua Dulce, you are missing something big. Go visit them. What are your hours over there?
Yes, we are open on weekends for tastings from 11 till 5. And during the week, people can actually go and purchase wine if they wanted to, but we do tastings on weekends, and we are located at 10262 Sierra Highway in Agua Dulce.
And how can they reach you?
Our phone number is 661-268-1865, and we also have a website, which is reyeswinery.com. We have an online store, and people can purchase there, and we ship UPS.
Reyes Winery, some of the best wine you'll ever taste, and it's locally produced by one of the truly great gentlemen and givers in our community, Robert Reyes. Robert, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. You're
listening to Querer es Poder on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.